I'm so grateful that you guys are here today. Let's get started. Thank you all so much for coming to yet another town hall. I'm so sorry, oh, hey, Garth. I'm so sorry, Brandy Vega is otherwise occupied at another event, but she sends her well wishes and she sends her love, and so does Adam. Adam does as well. We're so grateful to have you here. We're going to have a wonderful, wonderful set of speakers because June is Men's Mental Health Month. And we want to make sure that we provide resources, information, and just talk about it. I feel like it's one of those things we don't talk about enough. There are plenty of topics that that we don't talk about, but we don't talk about men's mental health. And a lot of times, men don't talk about men's mental health. And so having this kind of a forum today is really important, and it means a lot to, well, at least to all of us here, and hopefully those who are watching on the live stream. For those of you who don't know, there is a live stream, so if you download the Silicon Slopes app, right, you can watch the live stream online as well. So if you have friends, family that didn't make it, send them the link to the app, and we can get them watching as well. Before we jump into it, I wanted to do a quick introduction. Oh, sorry, we were going to play the song, but for some reason the song is not available, so we'll skip through that, so sorry. That is a highlight of the beginning. My name is Cory Ivins. I am from a company called Mountainside. We are partners. Wait, it's working now? Do you guys want to hear the song? Should we kick it off? All right, let's do that. We'll go back real quick. And we'll do the song. I am not a singer, and so you're going to have to just follow along, and I will step off the stage for a moment. We'll just vibe. We'll rock, and we'll roll. Ooh, karaoke night would be fun. But you guys have to come. Very cool. I'm way worse at the commentary than Brandy is. But remember, we're here for a reason, right? We're here for each other.
And when the world is hard to bear, I'll think of those who love me. Remember,
I don't have the next verse.
I'm enough and others care. And in the darkness, I'll hold on. I know I can make it through. Standing strong with hope for tomorrow. I promise to live, promise to love myself. And when I'm down, reach out for help, and I'll be there to share all I can give. Promise to live. Promise to live, promise to love myself. And when I'm down, reach out for help, and I'll be there to share all I can give. Promise to live, promise to love myself. And when I'm down, reach out for help, and I'll be there to share all I can give. Promise to live.
Who here has made the promise? That's a good showing. I love that. Thank you for doing it. Who Who here has yet to make the promise? We'll talk about that in a minute. Perfect. Thank you so much for doing that. I'm so glad it worked. Okay, so now I am Cory Ivins. My partner Aaron Shields is going to be here in the back for people who might need someone to talk to during this, because we are going to have some big conversations. But Mountainside, we are dedicated to building people. We are a people performance company. So we teach soft skills, we teach communication skills, we teach listening skills, and everything in between so that you can be successful from the boardroom to the bedroom and everything in between. That's our goal, right? We want to make sure relationships work no matter what and no matter where. That's our focus. So as we go through things, normally we have Dr. David Morgan, who's here, and to talk to someone who, if there's a triggering moment or something that stresses you out, you want to have someone to talk to. Dr. Morgan isn't here today, but we do have Aaron Shields. He is our professional listener today. So if for any reason there's something that stresses you out, that triggers you, and you need someone to talk to, he's your man. And we have that room in the back dedicated to you. Okay, that being said, we are talking a little bit about a promise. So the promise to live is a promise to reach out when I'm not okay, right? So we all have those times in life where life is stressing us out. We have relationship problems, financial issues, whatever it might be. Making that promise beforehand is critical. Statistically, you are more likely to find success in that stressful time when you make the promise. Find your safe person. If you don't have a safe person, you have our website, you have the number 988, you have resources available to you. The whole point of Promise to Live is to point you to those resources when you need them. Brandy's story is that when she had a child in crisis, she didn't know where to go. She didn't have resources. And so she had to reach out to social media to find those resources. We don't want you to have to do that. So Promise to Live is here to make sure you're pointed to the right people at the right time when you need it. Now, this is a two-part promise. Part of it is reaching out when you're not okay. The other part is be there for the people that are not okay in your world. Reach out, check in on your people, make those phone calls, send those text messages. If you feel that feeling like, I haven't heard from Sarah in a while, send the note. Make the call, right? If you feel it, they're probably needing you. I am not a believer in coincidences. There's a reason why we feel what we feel when we feel it. So reach out to your people. Quick thank you to all of our sponsors and all of our supporters. Many of you are in the room today, but we wanted to say thank you so much for all the people that show up for us on a regular basis. We love you. Thank you. We wanted to highlight and feature a few of them today. So first and foremost, Adrian from New York Life. Huge supporter. Huge thank you.
Well, first of all, thank you for letting us be a part of this. When I saw Brandy post this, I thought, oh, we got up on the stage? There we go. Thank you very much. I thought, I got to be a part of this. Just a quick little story. About a year ago at this time, I got a call from my son. And we communicate quite a bit, but we hadn't talked to him for about a month. He's a Army Ranger, so when we don't hear from him, oh, thank you very much, yeah. And so when we don't hear from him, we know, okay, he's not around, and we don't get to hear about where he's at or what he does. Part of the fun part of being an Army dad. And so we're talking and realized something's just a little off. And I said, hey, is everything okay? And he said, because in our family, we do verbal processing. Because silence isn't strength, right? Being able to face things, that's strength. And so he said, yeah, just came back from a mission, and we lost 12 people. And that was hard. But when I came back, we lost 2 more because they couldn't handle, they struggled with what they saw. And by the end of the phone call, we had booked 2 trips to go visit him in a month for the 4th of July last year. And he's in the Seattle area. We got to watch the Mariners score some runs and actually win. That was a unique experience, so that was a lot of fun. We got to check out his favorite places, and then we got to check out where he trains how to jump out of perfectly good helicopters and planes how he gets to clear rooms. And by the way, if you have Army kids, don't ever bring a mom to those kinds of situations. It's just not wise. But at the end of the trip, I said, so are you doing okay? And he said, you know what, Dad? Those other guys, they didn't have the same support circle that I do. And so I'm going to be okay. So the awkward segue here is my partner Diamond and I, we are our clients' inner circle, support circle. We help busy professionals and business owners be intentional with their money and help to kind of have a plan for the road, the stumbling blocks that are along the way. The great philosopher Mike Tyson once said, everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face. You know the quote, Adam. Yeah, that's a great quote. Another quote, and I don't know what great philosopher said this, but planning or plans are nothing. Planning is everything. There you go. Wow. Oh, smart group. I love this. I love this. So sometimes we get so busy that we forget why we're doing it. We forget our financial purposes and our legacy planning, and we work way too hard to not make it worthwhile. So think of Diamond and I as your financial thought partners to keep you on track, to help you. Anybody from the IRS here? Okay, good. To help you disinherit the IRS and be tax efficient, and to help you protect those who matter most to you, so that you can do what you do, network like pros, and be leaders of industry. So thank you so much for letting us be a part of this. We are so excited and can't wait to take lots of notes. So thank you.
Thanks, Adrian. That's fantastic. And we love New York Life. I've actually been a New York Life customer since the day I was born. So thank you so much for doing what you do. Next up, we have Curtis. Where's Curtis? There you are. Curtis Morley.
Thanks, Cory. So I am so excited because we've got a big announcement. We are partnering with Promise2Live and I Love You Bro Project. And what we're doing is the statistics are solid and they're astonishing. People that exhibit addictive behaviors are 6.5 times more likely to commit suicide. And the National Library of Medicine did a report that said, they asked the question, how many people in the last month have looked at pornography and believe they have an addiction to pornography? Does anybody know the stat? It blew me away. 91.5% of men said that they'd looked at pornography in the last month. 60.7% of women said the same thing. And yet, with addictive behavior, suicide is 6.5 times more likely. And so today we are announcing that with the Promise2Live, every single time we do a cohort, a program for pornography recovery, we are going to do a full scholarship through the Promise2Live. And there's only one criteria. You have to sign the promise. That's the criteria. You have to sign the promise, and then Brandy and Adam are going to choose. And with I Love You Bro Project, we're doing the same thing. If you're part of I Love You Bro Project and you attend the meetings, we are also giving a second scholarship, full scholarship, through I Love You Bro Project. So, this is the code. The QR code takes you directly to the application. Scan it right now. If it's not for you, scan it and send it on. And let's get into healing. Because one of the counterfeit emotions, that's the company, is that sobriety is the counterfeit of recovery. And if we can get out of the trap of sobriety, we can get into true healing and find the one emotion that has no counterfeit, and that's peace. Thank you.
Thank you, Curtis. Oh, it's a beautiful program. And he's absolutely right. Peace is the one emotion that has no counterfeit. Everything else does. Curtis teaches a lot about shame. And I've had a lot of conversations around pornography. There are a lot of people that I have, that are close to me that struggle with it. And what I found is, and I'm sure Curtis already knows this, but disconnection from community and shame are one of the two biggest contributors to this problem. People that feel like they're not enough, they're not strong enough, they don't have enough value, no one cares, is one of the major contributors to this. We're not a connected society. Statistically, they show that when a country or a community becomes more developed, becomes more wealthy, the community degrades. And we are a fairly well-off people. We all have our financial struggles, but we're doing all right. But the more that we develop as a country and as a community, the more that community degrades. We need to counteract that. And Curtis is at the spear point of that counteraction. So thank you, Curtis, for what you're doing. It's fantastic. So one more, Ray from Third Thursdays. I'd love to bring you up to the stage.
Thank you very much, Cory. This is an amazing group of people. I absolutely love what Brandy and all the people here have brought together. Let's do another big round of applause for everyone that put this together, because it's really pretty amazing. One thing I love about Utah is how a lot of people really do well to lift each other up. And that's actually one of the things that got me into working with the startup community, which, by the way, are some of the most high pressure, sometimes deal with mental health issues because of the amount of pressure that startups have to go through to raise capital, to scale, to do all these things. And I just got amazed by how people really lift each other up in this community. And the synergy is amazing. So, and Promise2Live is one of those great players that's doing that. So thank you to Promise2Live. I work with a nonprofit organization called Connect Capital. We've been around for 42 years. Used to be the Wayne Brown Institute. And we basically take founders and surround them with mentors, give them feedback on their pitch. A lot of our mentors are angel investors, they're serial entrepreneurs, and they help startups so that it's not as stressful going through that process. And we have an event coming up right after this, so I really love that these are often on the third Thursday of the month, because mine is third Thursday at 3, and it's right next door, pretty close at Kiln headquarters. It's like a 1-minute drive from here. So I invite any of you that would like to come and watch some of these founders pitch that have gone through the Connect Capital Mentor Program. There's a lot of people do come from here. We'll see Cory and Aaron will be speaking, and we'll have a little bit of time on stage for them. So I invite anybody that would like to scan the QR code and get a ticket, or just come straight over. I recommend coming over a little bit early, around 1:50, to get a good seat. It usually is pretty packed. But thank you very much for your time. Thank you for inviting me, and I appreciate this great crowd and great organization. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thanks, Ray. Ray is a fantastic community builder, so if you don't know him, get to know him. He's fantastic. Okay, a couple points of order. We are a nonprofit, right, as far as Promise2Live is concerned, and we want to make sure that Promise2Live continues to help and provide resources. On the website, there's an opportunity to donate. Now, you can become a monthly gift giver for just $9.88. Now, who knows why we give $9.88? Anyone? Aaron.
I do. Oh, I do.
Why?
Is the 911 for mental health.
Yep, it's the 911 for mental health, right? So we are supporting the cause. That phone number is critical to so many people, and we want to make sure that everyone knows about it. Now, here's the cool part. So we usually have people donate and give for lunches and everything. Thank you, New York Life, for helping us out this month. We have a lot of strong advocates, but that's not always the case, right? we're kind of in an interesting economy. People, have some question marks on giving. If we can give in small portions, then we can keep these kind of events funded, and that's what we're really hoping for. The monthly gift is an incredible one. If you're a monthly gift giver, then when you come to these events, just show us that you've given, and great. If you're a one-time giver or one-time attendee to one of these things, we do ask that moving forward, not this one, but moving forward, that we give $9.88 just to cover some of the costs and make sure we can still hold these incredible town halls with these incredible speakers. So just a little bit of a prompt on that one. Final event, we do have a comedy event coming up on August 8th. It was going to be at Club Paddock, so if you're interested in comedy, what's the other one, the Mind Worker? Mentalist, yeah, we have a Mentalist coming. It's going to be a really fun show, bit of a fundraiser. So if you're interested in that, please come and join us there. And then the tickets and information are down here at the bottom. So that's the final event. Now on to our wonderful speakers. So today we have Joe Tuiaana, right? I said that right? Oh, thank you. Well, thank you. I had a mission companion that was Elder Fonui Moana. So I've practiced. Emilee Krupa and Jason Clawson, correct? Yep, just wonderful people. They're all advocates for the I Love You Bro and for men's mental health. Now, before we get started, if you don't mind, I'll tell a 2-minute story and then we'll get kicked off. I'm passionate about this topic, specifically because I've had some strong experiences in my life when it comes to mental health. I had a very dear friend call me about 5 years ago, been through divorce, job issues, mental health issues in the military, a whole bunch of stuff. And he called me one night and he said, I'm done. I don't want to be here anymore. It's too hard. And you're the last person I'm going to talk to. And that was a hard phone call. And, I had learned a couple of things. I had read Chris Voss's book, Never Split the Difference. It says, ask no questions, not yes questions. So I asked him 3 questions. I said, are you willing to live with the consequence that your daughter is going to blame herself for what happens today, for the rest of her life? And he said no. And then I said, are you willing to live with the consequence that your son is probably going to end up in the system, addicted to drugs and having problems the rest of his life? Answer, no. And finally, are you willing to let your children blame their mother for what happens today? And the answer was no. And through tears and a little bit of pleading, I asked him, what are you going to do? And he said, I want to check myself into the VA. And I said, perfect. And I'll be on the phone with you until you do. So it was a few hours while he drove to the VA and checked himself in. But the best moment of my life was when he called me the next morning and he was still here. It's a big deal. And a lot of people deal with the same struggles, the same problems, right? And we need to be there for one another. We need to know what to do in those situations. And you're going to learn from these experts on what to do if you're in a crisis or if you know someone who is. So please remember that, because I had to ask myself that same question about 3 years ago. So please, as you hear these words, remember that we're all here for the same reason. We're here for one another. And we're here to build this community so we can stay strong and save lives. So I'll let them get into the stats and introduce themselves. So thank you so much for bearing with me, and we'll move on with Joe.
Oh.
And then you're good to go.
Well.
Or do you want me to run it? You can just.
Yeah. I don't want to. Yeah, I can't do too many things at once. My name is Joe Tuiaana. I'm the founder and CEO of the I Love You Bro project. We are the only organization in the country that is specifically for men's mental health, for suicide prevention for men, and for the ongoing emotional, personal development for men that is evidence-based. Evidence-based meaning we collect data and we analyze the data. We use the data that exists with the CDC and the Utah Department of Health and Human Services. And together we, marrying that information, we create programs for men and men's mental health and suicide prevention. All started on an overpass where I was able to love a bro off the ledge using the words, I love you, bro. And it happened to work at that time. And at that time, I was trying to help find some services for my new little bro. And there were some really cool general campaigning for suicide and mental health, but nothing specifically for men. And if you guys don't know, I'm a numbers guy, but it's 80% of all suicides are men. 80, and that's something we don't ever talk about a lot. And so we're here to talk about this, and my clinicians here with you guys. And I'm gonna just show you some data, some reality for men's mental health. So we have at the I Love You Bro Project weekly support groups all throughout Utah that offer places for men to come safely share struggles, challenges that they're dealing with, whether that be addictions, divorce, all different sorts of life pressures. And in these support groups, we have guys who, when they do show up, they scan a QR code and then they check in with us. And this questionnaire is about 12 questions asking men how their mental health is, how things are at home, what challenges they're facing, and how comfortable are they sharing with their partner or calling 988. Okay, so we have data that is nobody else has ever, and so I'm going to share some of that with you in my time here. And this, again, is reality. This is reality. They say facts don't have feelings, but these sure stir some with me. Okay, so I hope as I'm talking or as we go through some of these statistics, it triggers a little bit. Obviously everybody who's here has an vested interest in suicide prevention, but the hope would be that you can now look at 80% of that suicide prevention needs to be for men, as we take up 80% of all suicides. So, my first screen, you see here, these are all real cute graphics I made with ChatGPT. Very cool. So June is Men's Mental Health Month, okay? And I wanted to share with you guys just some quick statistics, real data, again, taken from the men who attend and participate in our weekly support groups, mental health workshops that we provide for men. I wonder what these guys are feeling. So I put a question on our questionnaire to see what are the most popular feels these guys are experiencing who are coming to a support group. Number one, loneliness, 59%. It's pretty, so let's think of all of these numbers as I have a support group of 10 bros there. So that's 6 guys, let's just say. 6 guys who are attending out of a group of 10, they're experiencing some loneliness for whatever reason, okay? The second would be anxiety, 52%, shame, 41%, sadness, 39%, insecurity, 35%. So these are the most popular feels these guys are, or emotions these guys are coming to the support group with, okay? Let's go to the next one, please. The 5 most popular or selected life challenges men are facing in our support groups. Number 1, negative self-talk, and this is actually low now. I just looked at the numbers this morning. 70%, that number is actually about 74% right now, meaning 74% or almost 7.5 bros, men, out of a group of 10 guys, their number 1 challenge they're facing is that they hate on themselves. They feel like they don't have any worth or value to offer. The number 2, again, loneliness, it's correlating pretty well with the other data. 54%, they're feeling some level of abandonment. Anxiety, chronic worrying, 49. Depression, chronic low mood. You can see finances, number 5, whether they're going through a job loss or not making enough money, okay, or some debt. You could see suicide ideation, thoughts of suicides, that's 17%. So, thinking of it as, 70, 54, the idea that all of our guys are suicidal, that's stigma, okay? That in and of itself is. Our data shows that these guys who are showing up are just regular dudes dealing with some regular feels, okay? That don't feel so regular, okay? So that number of suicide ideation, thoughts of suicide, 17%, we're just under two men out of the 10 in our group are experiencing thoughts of suicide. Next slide, please. The top 5 emotional needs of these men. What do they want to get out of our support groups? Why are they coming? Okay. Number 1, be around supportive and caring people, 66%. Okay. Mind you, all these guys, they could select, there's 12 different things, they could select all of them if they wanted to. But this is the most selected, to be around supportive and caring people. I wonder what kind of people they feel like they're around at home that they're not getting. 66%. Number 2, have a safe place to show and share their emotions. Okay? 64%, it's right there. Receive a hug from a bro. Okay? 60%. I'm a hugger. I like to grab the guys before the group breaks, and some of them are like my kids giving them a hug. But I threw a question on there, or an option to select receive a hug from a bro, and 60%, so 6 out of 10 of the guys, they come to the group to get some physical affection from another bro in a safe place. Okay? Next one, show and share their emotions without judgment, 59%. And the last one, receive emotional validation, 55%. Okay, this is all real. This is reality happening here. Next slide, please. The top 5 reasons why men won't reach out for help. Okay? Mind you, I want to add here, these surveys are being completed by men who are comfortable enough to attend a support group. So if anything, if we're going to look at this data and these numbers, it's actually worse than this. Okay? This is just from men who are comfortable reaching out for help because they're actually coming to a support group. Okay? Number 1 reason, being a burden to their loved ones. 60% chose that option, that they do not want to share because they feel that those emotions will burden their loved ones. Number 2, a lack of trust in others at 53%, meaning they don't have a connection with their loved ones at home. That's family or spouse. They don't have a connection there. Being judged, okay, that they're less or they're not manly enough. I know appearing weak right there, 40%. Number 4 is what I would have put. And a lot of you guys there, you guys can go through. I speak generally to the men everywhere I present. But, what are your reasons why you wouldn't? And a lot of times they match up pretty well with the data that we have here. Mine would be internalizing. Oh, I can handle this. Okay? This is reality again. Okay? Next slide, please. This is the bottom line here. 91% of men feel, based on our data, mental health is as important as physical health, 91%. Yet only 34% of men have actually seen a mental health professional in the last 12 months. Okay? So it's just as important, right? But I don't need it. It's for someone else. It's not me. I can handle it. Okay? The 73% of men will not call or text 988 when in a mental health crisis. So as beautiful as it is for us to say, call 988, reach out, 988. Are the men doing it? No, they are not. We're 80% of suicides. 73% of men will not call or text 988 for whatever reason. Okay? 91% of men feel that society does not do enough for men's mental health and suicide prevention. That is a strong one, 91%. Okay? And of course, the bottom one we've already discussed, 80% of all suicides are men. This is real data, okay? This is reality happening. Again, this is reality happening to guys who are comfortable already reaching out for help because they're coming to our support groups. So these numbers are all inflated, or need to be, I should say, inflated reality. I have one more that I didn't have on the slideshow, and I want to share with you guys that this is the heartbreaking one. The top 5 least popular outlets for men to reach out when in an emotional crisis. Least popular: spouse, partner, 13%. 13%. Number 2, other family, parents, siblings, 15%. That's adult kids, that's parents, grandparents, cousins. Number 3, 988, 24%. Number 4, spiritual leader or bishop, priest, 26%. And number 5, God, prayer, at 22%. We're so ashamed of our mental health struggles, we can't even talk to God about this. We obviously can't share that with our spouse or our family and for the reasons that we have already went over or gone over. Now, this is to disturb you a little bit. These facts have to be disturbing, or they don't do anything. Where do we go from here with these kinds of facts? The I Love You Bro Project, again, here in Utah, we're the only ones in the country who have created places like this that are evidence-based, okay? What we do, we're average Joes for average bros. You know, I don't have clinicians there for every group. We're just dudes. And we're creating space, sacred space, for men to come and share some of these struggles and emotions. And we use them as practice fields for hopefully these guys to start sharing at home, start sharing with friends, to maybe call 988 in the future. So we have workshops once a month, mental health workshops for men. When we talk about, we take the data, we see what these guys are struggling with, and then we have a clinician, one of my clinicians, come in and we talk about those things, learn about them. We have mental health workshops for women that are specifically taught by women for women to empower women to better support men's mental health, the men in their life, okay? Whether it's listening or communicating, things like that. And then, of course, most importantly, our weekly support groups. There's Tuesday the 1st, we have our Kaysville, Utah group opening. By the end of this year, we will have 10 weekly support groups in the state of Utah. Thank you. So my time is up, but my invitation is this. If you know, or if you are a bro here struggling, I'm not gonna tell you to call 988, you know that crap already. Reach out to me then, okay? Go to iloveyoubroproject.org. We have a perfectly private, safe way that you can email me. Or go to I Love You Bro Project and on Instagram or Facebook. Reach out to us. Come be with us, bros. Whoever's watching, listening. Women, if you have someone in your life you know who could use this, please don't tell them that. We don't want to hear that. Oh, this would be perfect for you. I hear that so often. Don't say that crap to your husband, okay? Let's get a bro, to invite your bro to come to a group, okay? I love you, bros. Thank you guys for showing up. I'm so excited for my clinicians to be here to educate us on this stuff. So, love you, bros. I went over. Emily? Who? Emily.
Oh, do I have to stand? Can I sit? Is that okay?
Yeah, you can. Yeah. Oh, I could have sat in this comfortable chair the whole time.
That's why I'm shocked you stood. I don't want to stand. I would like to sit. Hi, it's so wonderful to be here with you. How do I work this thing? Like that, maybe? There we go. So my name's Emilee Krupa. I'm a marriage and family therapist, and I have a practice just down the road from here. And I'm curious, in looking, across this room, I'm curious, by the raise of hands, how many of us in this room have a husband? A couple of us have a husband. How many of us have a son? A lot more hands that time. How many of us have a brother? Yeah. How many of us, what's my last one? Oh, a father. How many of us have a father? Probably everybody in the room, right? Hopefully. So we all have a lot of men in our lives. And what Joe just shared is telling us that these men are really struggling, that a lot of the men in our lives are really, really struggling right now. And Adrian, in the beginning with your story, said it absolutely perfectly I just asked. I asked. That is the message, the takeaway. The two things I was asked to talk about are how do I help someone I love, and what if they don't want it? How do I help someone that I love? Ask. Ask the question, are you okay? How are you doing? What's going on in your life? There is a man by the name of Kevin Hines. Has anybody heard of him? Yeah. I had the opportunity to listen to him at a conference a couple of years ago, and he came up and told his story. And he has books and I think a movie, and there's lots that you can Google and find out his whole story. But the story that he told was that he lived in California at the time, and he woke up one morning and he decided that that was the day that he was going to die, that he wanted to end his life. And so he got on a bus, and the bus was about an hour before he got to the Golden Gate Bridge. And he shares this story, and he says, I told myself, if one person asks me if I'm okay, I won't do it. I'll literally just break down. I won't be able to handle it. I won't do it. So he rides an hour-long bus, and he said, I'm kind of crying at this point. There's emotion that's happening. And I ride an hour-long bus, and not one person asks me if I'm okay. And then I get off the bus, and the Golden Gate Bridge, I think, is like 2 miles long. So he's walking, he's about a mile in. And he said, I'm just crying. It is just pouring out of me as I am walking to this bridge. And he said, police walked by, families walked by, men, women, everybody else walked by. And this, keep in mind, was 2010-ish. We did not know then what we know now about suicide prevention. And at that time, nobody asked. And he was very fortunate. He did jump, and he survived. And you can see his interviews all over the place, and they said, you know, what's the first thing that pops into your mind when you jumped? And he said, immediate regret that I did not want to end my life. What he wanted, what he needed, was someone to see him. Someone to ask him, are you okay? Do you want to talk? What's going on? He just needed someone to ask. So how can we support our men? How can we support them with their mental health? Number one is asking, is always just asking the question. My husband always has, when he asks people, you know, we were at lunch the other day with a friend, and he said, oh, let me grab the check. And she said, no, it's fine. And he said, no, let me grab the check. And he said, no, I really got it. And he said he always asks twice. And then he says, okay, that's fine. Or if he's helping someone bring their groceries in, or he's helping somebody lift something, always ask twice. Are you sure you don't need help? Ask them twice. Don't just ask them once. Is there anything you need to talk about? Are you okay? No, I'm okay. Ask twice. Are you sure? I'm here. I'm available. I'm ready. Because that's the second part to this piece, right? Joe shared that statistic of most men don't feel safe sharing with their partners. And that is that's our fault. We can take ownership of that as wives, that is really scary. That can be really, really scary for us when that happens. And so not only do we have to be okay with asking, we do also have to be okay with the answer that we're going to receive. We have to be okay with that. And even if we're not, being okay in the moment, and then go talk to someone else and say, my husband shared this with me, and that scares the shit out of me, and I don't know what to do with that. But being safe in the moment, that's how we build emotional safety with our partners, with our friends, with our coworkers, with everybody on planet Earth. That's like, spoiler alert, that's all that we do as therapists. We had to go to school and pay a lot of money to basically learn how to listen to people and say, yeah, that makes sense. I can understand how you would feel that way. That is totally, I get that. I get that you're feeling that way, and that makes a lot of sense to me. That's all we do as therapists, is say, yeah, you're not crazy. It's okay. I see you. And we ask the question. I don't see a ton of men. It's probably, like a 10-to-1 men coming into therapy into my office, partly probably because I'm a female therapist, and maybe some men seek out a male therapist, which is wonderful. But before every therapy session that I have with every single client, I have in their patient portal, they have to fill out some assessment forms. a generalized anxiety screening, a depression screening, PTSD, and suicide. And I look at those screenings every single day that I see patients. I look at these screenings before I see a client. I had a male come into therapy yesterday. It was his intake. He's never been to therapy before. 55 years old. This is his first time coming into therapy. And as he sat down on the couch, and he's nervous. Who's not nervous about going into therapy? I'm nervous to go into therapy. And he sits down on that couch, and I said, "How are you feeling about being here?" And he said, "I feel really relieved, because I've been thinking about this for years and years and years." And this is, I had already talked to him on the phone for a little bit for a consultation before he came in. But he said, "I feel really relieved." And I said, "I looked at the questionnaires that you filled out before you came in, and it looks like you're really struggling." And he broke down because he said, "Yeah. And nobody's ever seen that before. Nobody's ever asked me those questions before." So I told him, I didn't cry when I think I'm crying now because I didn't cry yesterday when I was with him. I said, "I'm so glad you told me. And I'm so glad that you're here. And I hope that you keep coming back every week. And I hope we can get you through this." So that is all that men need from us, is to ask and to be okay with hearing the answer, to be okay with that. The second thing that I was supposed to teach you about in 30 seconds or less is, what if they don't want to go? And Joe touched on that a little bit already, but there is a quote that says, "We cannot save people, we can only love them." So you don't have to force our husbands, fathers, sons, brothers into therapy. It is when people say, "Oh, that would be great for my husband," I have a similar visceral reaction of, "Don't do that." Or when I have female clients tell their husbands, "You should go see Emilee," don't do that. Just love them. Love them, be open, hold space, be okay with the answers that they give, because they need us. And we need them. We need each other. We all do. And so holding that space, being okay with the answer, and please, 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 just ask.
Oh, I didn't do any of my slides. This is on my website. I'm sorry, I totally forgot. I plan things and then I don't follow them at all. I have wooden coins in the back. There's some on the little thing or on the table that have a QR code that has these things. So if you're someone that's like, "Hi, I like your stories, but I also want really practical things that I should do," these are all on my website, just koruwell.com. But signs he's struggling, you can go to the next one. That's okay. Signs he's struggling, how do I support him? Just ask. And then the last one, I think, was, how do I create space? So that is all on my website. If you are a person that's like, "I need like practical tools," those coins back there have a QR code that you can scan that takes you to this full article. It's written a little bit more long form, but.
Give these guys a hand. These guys do good work. And before I get into it, if you've never heard of I Love You Bro, if you're curious, please just go to a group and go see the magic that's happening to men that are sitting there and feeling the emotions. Just go and be a part of it. If you do nothing else, go sit in a group. So if you know someone that's struggling, you can say, "I got a place for you," and it will change your life. So I'm grateful to be here. Thank you for being here. This is such a passionate topic that I have, and I'm so honored to be here. Full disclosure, I was at Target before. I was trying to find a pink shirt so I could speak about men's mental health and vulnerability in a pink shirt. I had to settle for this one, but I have my pink socks with my miracle child that came into my life because of a miracle. That's a story for another day. Let me tell you a story. Do you guys like stories? Yeah. So about 5 years ago, I was sitting in the hospital in the waiting room and waiting for a doctor to come in and tell me some news about how surgery went with my wife. She came in and she looked at me and she says, "Jason, I'm so sorry." Excuse me, I'm getting emotional. She says, "Your wife has stage 4 colon cancer." And that news directly impacted me forever. And I had to carry that burden of all those emotions that came with that news. And as men and mental health, when we get those news and we go through difficult moments, we feel it in our bellies, we feel it on our shoulders, and we feel it in our head, and it just weighs heavy on us. Fast forward to recovery room. The doctor comes in, delivers the same news. We feel those emotions more heavy. And the doctor left, and I said, "No, this isn't happening. I need to find answers." So I ran after the doctor, and I said, Doctor, what am I going to do with this news?" And she goes, "Jason, you're going to be okay." And I'm like, "I'm not going to be okay. You just dropped a bomb on me, and it's forever going to change my life." And then she said, the last thing she said, "Jason, cancer has a way of enhancing your life. Hang in there." And she walked away. And I thought, that's not fair that she dropped that bomb and says, cancer has a way of enhancing your life. Today, I want to share a couple things because men's mental health and the way that you approach mental health will enhance your life. Mental health will enhance your life depending on how you approach it. So I had my man moment. So I turned around and I walked down the hallway, and that heaviness began to sink on my shoulders. And I reached for my masculinity mask and I put it on. My masculinity mask was a stoic mask. I'm going to show up. I'm going to be okay. I'm going to present that I'm strong. I'm going to be strong for everybody. Anybody been here? We all have masks, whether they be a stoic mask, whether they be an angry mask where we yell and scream and push people away because we don't want people to know what we're feeling. We're a workaholic. We use substance to wear a mask to prevent people from knowing what's really going on. It doesn't prevent, it takes a toll on us. I love this analogy. So when we wear masks with our emotions, it's like a pop bottle. What happens? We shake it up and the pressure builds. And it builds and it builds until we open this up. I'm just kidding. But if we don't learn how to let out the fizz appropriately, what happens with our emotions and wearing our masks as men is we will explode on ourselves and we'll explode on other people and we'll do things that we don't intend to do. Find ways to be able to let out the fizz so it doesn't affect you and it doesn't change your life. Number one is identify the mask that you are wearing. You guys look around, there's probably people in this room that are wearing masks today. I hear you, I see you today, and I want you to be able to change. Identify that mask that you're holding in and find a place that will be safe to share. Come to the I love you, bro. Put your mask at the door and learn how to be vulnerable. Learn how it feels to be able to let out those emotions. It will change your life. Number two, vulnerability invites vulnerability. You need to find a safe person to be able to share with. Not everybody is okay to share your emotions with. I teach men and I build them up and then they go to their families and their families invalidate their emotions and they come back as like, I'm never opening again. Don't be that person. Please don't be that person. They deserve so much more. That's why therapy is amazing. That's why the I Love You Bro group, it gives people practice to be vulnerable. We need that. We need to validate. We need to say, that is hard. Thank you for sharing. So they continue to share. Next, we need to build a team. When I wore that mask, I wore it 9 months and then my wife passed away. After my wife passed away, my mask got thicker and stronger. I held on it for a whole year. And then I got to a point where I couldn't take it anymore. Pulled out my phone, I texted 15 of my closest friends, people in my church group, and I said, I can't take this anymore, I need help. Later that night, 15 people showed up at my house, and I took off my mask and I began to share how hard life was. That conversation saved my life. I invited them in, and when I took off my mask, I gave them permission to come help me. I gave them permission to say what they needed to say. I gave them permission to take away my baggage so that I could feel my emotions and then I wasn't burdened. Find a way to build a team. I've helped families build teams. I've helped companies build teams. So it's a safe place for them to get what they need, not just a one-time event, but an ongoing theme will continue to change their lives. Healing takes courage. It's not a one-time event. It's a daily process. As we wake up, we feel heavy as men. We feel that ongoing process, so we need to have courage. I'm going to introduce you to a concept of the buffalo. This is amazing principle. A buffalo, you want to be a buffalo in men's mental health. When a storm comes, a lot of animals will go run and hide. But if they go run and hide, they wait out the storm. In actuality, the storm takes longer by hiding. But if you're a buffalo and you run into the storm doesn't last as long. You lean into that discomfort, you learn how to be vulnerable, and you get stronger, you get more resilience, and then you become a person that can change lives. You do your work, you lean into it, and you come to a place where you can inspire change to happen. I challenge you guys, after hearing, if you don't do anything after this, then you're I hate to call you out, but you're contributing to the problem. Today, make a choice to begin doing things different, listening to your neighbors, making space for them to be heard, and you can be a part of changing someone's life, changing a family's dynamics, and bringing happiness into their lives. I love this quote, and I'll end with this. Healing isn't a destination, it's a daily act of courage, and it always starts with the word, I need help. Today's your day. Today is your day. Find a way to contribute to men's mental health, whether it's your neighbor, whether it's people at church, whether it's someone that has just struggled. We need you. When I was going through my darkest moment, I would show up to church. The worst thing that people would say is, if there's anything I can do, let me know. They're telling me to figure out what they should do to help me. What I did is I quickly pushed them on, and when people didn't sit with me in my emotions, I knew they weren't worth opening up. Stick with them, listen with them, stay with them. Say, what do you really need? How do you really feel? I'm not going anywhere. And that will change your lives. Be the change. Start today. And I'm so honored to be here. Let's change lives together. Thank you.
Wow. Just wow. Just let it sink in. Jason, Emilee, Joe, thank you for being here today and for sharing your message. A couple of things that came to my heart while we were listening to just the most beautiful words and practical tools, by the way, of what to do was, first of all, if you're in this room and you're not okay, it is okay to not be okay. But on the other end of that, we as men, we hear something all the time, right? Suck it up. We hear that all the time. Reaching out for help is hard, and it is scary. Suck it up and go get help. It's okay to get help. We are here for you. You have people in your world that wish they could help you if they only knew that you needed help. And if they only knew how. So we need to help other people help us. So suck it up and get help. And stay alive. Stay here. Thank you guys so much for being here. It means the world. But we only have, 40, 50 people here right now. We need this message everywhere. So if you have friends and family that need this message, I think we have a recording. We can share it. It'll be on YouTube. This is a message that needs to go everywhere. So please, if you're here, remember, even if you share with one more person, it will mean the world to them to share it. Thank you so much for being here. Enjoy.